NASA just deleted 60 years of bureaucracy. NASA just collapsed its entire bureaucratic structure into a four-pillar hierarchy controlled directly by a single man. On May 22nd, Administrator Jared Isaacman announced a radical realignment that effectively turns the world's premier space agency into a mission-focused startup. By merging long-standing directorates, Isaacman is stripping away layers of civil service insulation to place mission control in the hands of a few key appointees. This move is designed to force a cultural pivot toward the president's national space policy objectives before the decade ends. The first casualty of this shift is the traditional wall between building rockets and flying them, the death of the bureaucratic silo. The core of the reorganization is the merger of exploration systems and space operations into the new Human Spaceflight Mission Directorate. Historically, NASA split the teams that built the hardware from the teams that operated it, a divide that often led to friction and delays. Isaacman is also folding aeronautics into a new Research and Technology Directorate, signaling that general aviation is no longer a standalone priority. This new entity now hosts a dedicated space reactor office, making nuclear propulsion a primary directorate goal rather than a side project. Think of it like a tech company merging its hardware and software teams to ship a single product. This consolidation ensures every dollar is aimed at the moon base, but it raises a critical question about the future of pure science. The reporting line Coup. Isaacman has effectively sidelined the career bureaucracy by changing who talks to whom. Associate Administrator Amit Kshatriya has been elevated to Chief Engineer, but his role has been stripped of direct authority over mission directors. Instead, those directors now report straight to Isaacman. This bypasses the traditional filters of the civil service and places the administrator in direct control of tactical decisions. Critics argue this creates a single point of failure, while proponents claim it is the only way to match the speed of private competitors. While the internal lines are blurring, the external pressure is mounting on NASA's most prestigious research facility, breaking the Pasadena monopoly. In perhaps the most aggressive move of the realignment, Isaacman announced that NASA will compete the management contract for the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in 2028. For 90 years, the California Institute of Technology has held an exclusive grip on JPL, making it a unique academic-government hybrid. By opening this up to competition, Isaacman is signaling that even the most sacred legacies are up for review. The goal is to drive down costs and force JPL to integrate more deeply with the Artemis supply chain. However, this risks alienating the scientific elite who viewed JPL as a temple of pure discovery rather than a production line for lunar infrastructure. If Caltech loses its grip, the very identity of American planetary exploration will fundamentally change. This friction between heritage and speed is the defining tension of the new NASA. The Real Implication. This realignment is the final transition of NASA from a research-heavy academic institution into a streamlined delivery service for the orbital economy. By consolidating human spaceflight and research directorates into two massive pillars, Isaacman has created a structure that values mission outcomes over discovery for its own sake. For the space industry builder, this means shorter procurement cycles and a government partner that finally speaks the language of a commercial operator. For the career civil servant, it represents a loss of institutional autonomy to a leadership team focused on political and commercial timelines. The immediate consequence is a NASA that is more efficient at building a moon base, but potentially less capable of wandering into the unknown. We are watching the agency trade its broad curiosity for a laser focus on lunar permanence and nuclear-powered deep space travel. The first true test of this startup-style structure arrives in June, when the Senate Appropriations Committee decides if it will fund a four-pillar NASA or force the agency back into its old silos. Subscribe for more.